Hey YouTube, and welcome back to the Sneaky V YouTube channel. I wasn't gonna do a video today because I didn't really think there was anything for me to work on. Um, my cylinder, my cylinder head gaskets haven't come in. The head studs have come in from ARP, but I'm not installing those today, so I just kind of left them at the house. So I came down to my storage unit where I keep everything, and I actually managed to find something to do. I remembered that I hadn't quite torqued down the rocker arm assembly on my heads that I'm going to be running, so I took all that back apart and I'm going to redo it today. Uh, these are the heads that I'm going to be running. They are LS3 style heads. They are from Chevrolet Performance. They are not stock heads. They actually are CNC ported. So they're a little bit more special and they cost a little bit of a special price, but I have them here and I'm gonna get to work on them. Now these heads, when they first came, they had the stock valve springs in there, and those valve springs right here will only allow those valves to open up to 0.550 inches. That's about a little over a half an inch, and I decided I wanted more than that, so I upgraded these springs to a dual spring setup from Trick Flow Specialties, and these will actually allow me to open the valves all the way up to 0.650 inches, or six and a half tenths of an inch. I'm not going to be opening them quite that far, but the camshaft that I have, uh, the LS9 camshaft, it would have opened them to 0.532 with the stock ratio rocker arms. But here I have my rocker arms that I'm going to be using for this setup, and they are 1.7. The stock ratio for the LS rocker arms is 1.5. So uh, at 1.7, my cam will be opening these to 0.637 inches, I think. So I'm cutting it close to that 0.650, but I'm not quite at the max, and that's okay. I'm gonna get you guys set up, and I'm gonna start reassembling this, and I'm gonna let you guys watch. So I'm gonna set you guys back down on the table and get to work. Okay, so like I said before, my rocker arm setup here is from Performance Quotient. It is their rail mounted PQX 1.7 ratio rocker arms. And they ride on these little rods here, rail I guess, and they're just kind of like fully articulated, I guess you would call that. And that just reduces friction in the valve train. They also have these roller tips. So yeah, it just kind of helps out with the friction. They're also adjustable, which is going to be helpful since I'm running solid 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 lifters. I'm running a solid roller lifter setup, so being able to adjust is a must. Basically, so they just sit on this rail here, and this rail just drops in and installs like this, and you bolt it down. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of blue thread locker on these because I don't really want them backing out while I'm driving or something, because that would be terrible. So a little bit of blue thread locker on each of these. Ah, shoot, I dropped some. Hopefully that doesn't cause a problem. Thread locker these up. It doesn't take much thread locker, so you don't really need to like put a ton of it on there or anything. But get these all done up. And these bolts that go in here, I don't think there's a specific torque specification that I'm supposed to torque them down to, but I'll check later just to make sure. But for right now, I'm just gonna put them in and torque them down to, like, you know, decently tight. Alright, get my wrench here. And the reason that I hadn't done this before is because I didn't really have the right socket for it. I needed this 9/16 12-point socket here, and I didn't have that at the time that I did these the first time. But I have it now, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these torqued down. Get that one pretty tight. It probably wouldn't have hurt me to use my power drill, my wrench, but like I've gotta get the battery back in that thing. It's just been sitting in my car batteryless because my battery is at the house. I took it off to charge it and I just never put it back on there. But that's fine. I'll just do this by hand, even though it'll take a little bit longer. One. I forgot to mention earlier that these heads are aluminum, so I don't know if that's really important to you guys or anything like that, but they're lighter in weight, and I think they can hold a little bit more compression or something like that over the iron heads. I have to research that to actually accurately tell you, but yeah, these are aluminum. There was something else. I think I'll turn these heads over and let you guys see the bottom side of them. The intake side of them are 2.065, I believe, inches around the valve, and the exhaust side is a little bit smaller. I think it's like 1.185. You can see the intake valve is always larger because it takes a little bit more work to get air into the cylinder than it does to push it out. So yeah, there's that. And you notice there's oil on the table. That's because I had these soaking in oil just to make sure that they stayed fresh. So anyway, take your rocker arms and you just sit those up here, and they just sit up there. They come in sets of 2. Now these are actually shaped a little bit different than the factory rocker arms, so there may be a slight problem with them hitting the back housing of the thing here. So I think I'm gonna have to take it back off and clear it. This one, I think all the rest of them, no, it's this one that was good, and I think all the rest of them could possibly hit. So that's something I'm gonna be watching out for. I already clearanced a little bit. I'll have to see once I get this all on the engine and the push rods in place to see if they're actually gonna hit at all. So I'm gonna get these on, and these just installed with some Allen style bolts. Nothing special. I don't know exactly what size it is, but I have it here. And they come in 4 sets of 2 for each cylinder head. Let's get these torqued down. Shoot, I think I better do some thread locker for these too, because I don't want these vibrating loose either. So I'm gonna loosen these back up and get some thread locker on there. Get this last set on here. And thread locker time. And shoot, keep putting too much. Thread locker. Well, shoot. Gonna have to get that. Alright, so I got those all thread lockered, and I'm just gonna go through and tighten them down. And that one feels like it's a little cross-threaded or something. I better check on that. What's with this weird bolt? Yeah, I'm gonna pull that one back out and swap it for a different one, because that's weird and I don't like it. I don't want to like force that down through there. It doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to go. And I don't want to strip anything. That is really weird. That just that one would kind of bind up like that. Just try a different one. What the heck is up with that one? Is it the entire run here? Are they all like that? Get these torqued down and see what's up with that one there. It's causing it to bind up. I'm gonna run my my little thread cleaner down through there. Let's see if I can clear that up a little bit. Alright, let's see if it goes now. I don't know what's up with this one. It doesn't want to go in. I'll have to take this part back off and try to figure that out. I really don't need this to be stripped or something, but they just came out, so they should go back in. No problem. I don't know what's up with this. Like they were on here just a little while ago. Might need a thread chaser. Run down through there. Let's see. I mean, it goes through there. It's just a little tough. And I don't really like it like that, but it doesn't seem to be cross-threaded or anything. So let's stick this back on there and keep it moving. it's a lot better now that I've already run the bolt through there. Should probably have applied a little bit more thread locker to that one. Somebody pulling up outside. It's always somebody pulling up when I'm trying to record. And that's pretty much it. Rocker arm assembly on. This head is pretty much done, and I can move on to the next one. I think I'm gonna stick a time lapse in while I do the next one, and go ahead and knock that out on camera for you guys so it doesn't take up so much time in the video. So I'm gonna take this one and set it aside, and I'm gonna get to work on the other one. And just like that, 2-cylinder heads, rocker arms installed. So I'm just gonna set this aside and eventually box them back up in their little safe boxes so they don't get scratched up or anything. But for right now, these are done. So anyways, now that I've got that done, let's talk about my engine over here. The reason that I'm not continuing on it right now is obvious because I don't have the head gaskets to go on there, and I don't have the oil pan to go on there yet. So that's on hold for a little while. Let's talk about the car that this is all going in. This is my little dusty black CTS. That's gonna be getting that engine. It's not in great shape. It's got some paint problems. I don't know what happened there. I think I was putting in some brake fluid and I accidentally got it on the paint, so it just kind of messed up that quarter panel there. Other than that, the paint's okay. It's still got the ugly stock rims and everything on it. Pop your hood here and show you guys under the hood. Now it doesn't have the little Cadillac engine cover on it because I took that off and I just kind of left it in the garage because it doesn't really matter. But it's not running the best right now. It's actually down a cylinder on this side. This third cylinder right here lost compression at some point last year, and I tried to get it fixed, but I couldn't get the crank pulley off, so I just kind of left it alone. Yeah, it's got some cracked hoses here. Like the hoses got cracked while I was trying to fix the whole issue with that cylinder. So like it's just got all kinds of things going on. It's not running great. I think the extra vibration has worn out the motor mounts. This positive crank ventilation thing here has come off the intake, so that's not feeding into there anymore, and it just runs really rough, but somehow it still gets me back and forth to work during the week. And you know, the freaking alternator, it goes over voltage sometimes, so that's kicked on my anti-theft system, and it likes to hold my key hostage. But despite everything, the engine actually goes ahead and starts on up for me, even though it runs a little bit rough. That whole thing with the alternator going over voltage looks like it caused something with the ECU or the ECM, and now my gauge cluster, the temperature gauge and the fuel gauge, won't do anything. But like I just keep some fuel in it, so that's not a problem. Check engine lights on, but other than that, like other than having a pretty rough idle, if you guys can see that, it runs pretty well. Like it gets me down the highway at 80 miles an hour every day. So there are a few things wrong with it. The rear differential bushing is going out, so like when I put it in gear, it makes this clunking noise. When I'm accelerating from certain stops or making a turn, it makes a clunk 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 noise. So that's something I'm definitely gonna have to get changed for when I put this new engine in. Actually, the whole diff is gonna have to go away when I put this new engine in, but it should last a few months until I do that. But I'm definitely gonna have to get that bushing done. And speaking of which, the bushing is actually right there on the floor in this white box here. I just haven't had any way to get it in because I think I need a lift to put the car up on and actually get to that bushing back there. So that's just not something that I'm willing to deal with right now, along with the ECU problem that's causing my anti-theft system to activate and hold my key into the ignition when I go to turn the car off. You have to, there's a way to get that out, but whatever. Yeah, I'm just not willing to buy another $700 ECU, another computer, when all of that's about to come out. So I have looked into those bushings. I'm probably not going to put that stock bushing in. I found some really nice polyurethane bushings online and some engine mounts online that I'm probably going to swap all of that out with when I get this engine in. Look, you guys can see it shake from the little off-balance engine thing from a cylinder not firing. But other than that, it's a pretty decent car. I'm definitely going to get some more shocks on it. I'm going to get some coilovers for it and all that. Yeah, that's the car that this big honking engine is going into, and it's going to need a little bit of work, a lot of bit of work, before it's actually ready to put down the power that this thing is going to make. Right off the bat, this thing should probably put down over 600 horsepower to the crank at least. This thing is gonna need some work. But anyways, that's it from me for today. I'm gonna close up my little storage unit here, head back to the house and do something else, I guess. Put away those heads before they get injured somehow. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to click the like and subscribe button if you would. Send your friends my way because I could use the views. And have a good one.